Yo, what's up, man? Welcome back to the channel, right? And on this one, I want to talk about how before the internet, before everybody could get influenced by everybody, it was a time, and we was way more impoverished. So being more impoverished kept you where you are. You wasn't really going far places. Everybody didn't have cars. Like how now you see how everybody gets cars now. Back in the day, it was a thing. Most people took the train for real, or the public transportation, because everybody couldn't afford cars. Like how they can today and get a loan and this and that, right? So everybody was more to their neighborhood more, right? So with that being said, right, every borough had their own identity. Like, if you was from New York City, you would be able to figure out who anybody's from just based off how they look, how they act, and their ways and actions. Like, you will be able to identify a lot of the people, right? And I'm gonna explain to y'all the difference between every borough and everybody and what they was known for, okay? So let's start with Harlem, right? Because Manhattan was like Lower East Side and Harlem. Lower East Side was known Dope Fiend Central. You know what I mean? It was like that. That was that. Spanish down there. But I'm talking about the places that had names. Look, I'm a Brooklyn dude. So I'm telling you the relevance all these boroughs had from a perspective of a Brooklyn dude. You know what I'm saying? So Lower East Side we don't even consider that. The only place was Harlem, right? Harlem was straight African inspired. Real culture, real jazz, real, the soul food stuff. You know what I mean? Soul food. You want soul food, you go uptown. You know what I'm saying? And it was fly people, hustlers about making $1. You know what I'm saying? On some fly, you know what I mean? Like, not really, like, they wasn't known for being like extra, like, grimy or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? They was more known for being fly, flamboyant. Before flamboyant was alphabet community. You know what I mean? Like, they was flamboyant. They was real soulful. You know what I mean? And it was African American for the most part, right? And Hispanics up there too. And back then it was known for the for the work. Anytime it's the Spanish side, is known to get that work. You know what I mean? So it was that too. You know what I mean? On the west side was more known for Spanish hustlers. You go up there, you get, regardless, uptown was about getting money. It was about getting money. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's what uptown was. It was flashy. You know what I mean? It was like that, right? We're not killing it with just one borough. Alright. The Bronx now. The Bronx was super grimy, dirty. You don't want to go through there. There's nothing up there. You know what I mean? Overpacked, mad people. You know what I'm saying? And they was just known for being dirty and grimy. Period. Dirty and grimy. Brooklyn, I mean, that's what the Bronx was known for. Dirty and grimy. Alright? I ain't really know too much about the Bronx like that. Coming up. When you from Brooklyn, you ain't really hearing about the Bronx too much. You know what I'm saying? But you know it's grimy because there's no reason to go up there. You know what I mean? Like, especially back in the days too, the reason why people didn't travel like that too is because communities was more community. So if you wasn't from the neighborhood, people would know you not from the neighborhood. And just like I said, different boroughs look and dress different and act different and all that. They gonna know you from a mile away. Like, yo, this dude not even from around here. This dude look like a Brooklyn dude. Let's press him. Like, it was on some the hood police the hood, cause we pressing other blocks. So damn sure for outsider coming in, we gonna notice that. And like I said, everybody ain't have cars and this and that. It wasn't a whole bunch of cars always driving around like today. So you knew the cars, you knew who had what car, you knew everything. So different cars, you look out for that, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So this all goes to the reason why everybody just didn't travel like that. You know what I'm saying? It was dangerous. That's when it was dangerous. You know what I mean? And like I said, when I say grimy, I'm talking about grimy. Like, soon as you get off the train, grimy. Like, and every borough was damn near like that. Soon as you get off the train is up now. Be on high alert. Like, what people think today is like, it's dangerous or this or that in New York City is what? You crazy? Ain't nothing dangerous no more, man. Them days is over, man. Them days is over, man. You know what I mean? I ain't saying things can't happen, but things mostly happen with people that's doing things to each other. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really... Anyway, it ain't really random like it used to be. People was out like creeping, waiting, looking for anything because people was hungry. The hood was starving. Y'all don't know it was starving. Like, people literally was starving. Not like today, you could go to a restaurant, they'll give you a free plate of food if you was poor. There's a whole bunch of this, handing out this and that. Dog, it wasn't that much handouts back in the day. Okay? It was real dangerous. This is why New York got such a name, for real. Because it was treacherous. Imagine all these people. Remember, this is more populated than any other place in America. New York City, always been, right? And imagine everybody now trying to eat. Before the law was how it is today. Before everything was illegal like how it is today. Before the police didn't even have enough force like back in the day. Like there is today. Alright? So anyway. Let's get on to Queens. Queens was known for more home dudes coming from the crib. Like, dudes' parents come from homes, from houses. Like, they wasn't known for apartments. So everywhere else I'm telling you is apartments. You known for apartments. Queens is known for probably small little houses, one family story houses. It'd be grimy. Certain areas is grimy. But for the most part, you're looking at them more soft. But certain ones is grimy. You know what I mean? And certain places is grimy in Queens. But for the most part, Queens style itself wasn't really like... They wasn't fly. They wasn't fly dudes. Even though they kind of known for getting money to a degree. Like, they wasn't known throughout the boroughs for being fly dudes. They more known for, if I had to choose like the type of, they would be like the country niggas. They country niggas out there. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't really like in the city like how we are. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's spots that was grimy. And it's dudes that got money out there. But we looked at them more privileged to say, you know what I mean? Because you coming from places that got houses, this, that. Like, people used to leave the other boroughs I just named, including Brooklyn, to move to Queens because it was nicer. You know what I mean? Because at least you get another little house, this, that. You know what I mean? That type of style. More residential. You know what I mean? More spread out. So, They was known for being kind of soft, and they can't really dress. You know what I mean? They never could really dress. Queen, like, we wasn't really respecting their dress code. Them dudes, I don't know what they used to wear. But I always say like this. Queens dudes dress like 50 Cent. You see how 50 Cent could wear brands and it don't matter? Because he just not a fly dude when it come to dressing. That's a Queens dude. You know what I mean? So if you want to categorize a Queens dude, that's a Queens dude. And the grimy ones, you want to consider like people like Mobb Deep. That type of style. That was the grime, like, that was the grimy part of Queens. You know what I mean? So it was grimy dudes too. But, and just like 50 Cent, you see how 50 Cent movie still a gangster, he this and that. But, yeah, Queens dude though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I ain't trying to get on 50. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, that's how we looked at it, man, back in the day. That's just how it was, man. You know what I mean? He's official Queens dude though, you know what I mean? Like, he exemplifies what a Queens dude was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, awkward, he could wear nice clothes, it just don't flow proper. You know what I mean? Just never do. Always look like he wearing South Pole. That's what I always say. 50 Cent always look like he wearing South Pole. You know what I mean? When he try to dress urban and all that. Anyway. Then you got, and the flamboyant, you know, that's why I would say Dipset for Harlem. Harlem is like, that's Dipset. Like, that's kind of, you know what I mean? On that tip, like, bagging shorties, you know, this flashy dude, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. Now let's get to Staten Island real quick. Staten Island was known for Italians. All right? Them dudes is Italians. That's where they dump their bodies at. That's how we looked at it. That's mafia. That's whatever. Till Wu-Tang came out. You know what I mean? But Staten Island ain't really known for much. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it a buck. And they ain't really have a way about them. You know what I'm saying? To really say, yo, that's a Staten Island dude. Like, nah. Like, what? They'll be like, yo, you live in Staten Island? For real? Like, how? Like, we ain't even know brothers was out there. Put it that way. Like, you know what I mean? We ain't know that. So, that was that, right? Now, Brooklyn. Brooklyn dudes is known for everything. Being grimy, get money, and flashy. I'm telling you. All in one, though. Not like how I said in Queens, you got to go to a certain spot for this type, this spot for this type. Side block, they got side block dudes out there, you know what I mean? But, you know, uptown is straight flashy. You know what I mean? That's what they known for. I'm not saying it ain't. It ain't. In every borough, of course, it's always going to have, you know, dudes that, you know, do it all too. But we not talking about that. We talking about when you looking at dudes and when you peeping them and what they, you know who they, you know how they are. I mean, you know where they from off the rip. Listen, a Brooklyn dude, tough, will rob you, will hustle, and be flashy when it's time to be flashy, but during the week he, you know what I mean? Like, a Brooklyn dude is gonna get flashy and rock his clothes for a couple days and then do it again. A Harlem dude gonna switch up every day, maybe in the middle of the day, maybe for lunch he's switching up. You know what I mean? A Brooklyn dude gonna put on some fly shit and rock it out. Then be done with that. Then do it again. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm telling you. So, and who exemplifies Brooklyn? Let's keep it a buck. Biggie. All right? Don't matter how he look or what you see. Like, it don't even matter. That's a Brooklyn dude. Once you a Brooklyn dude, it don't matter how you look, this, that, the other. Your reputation precedes you just for being from Brooklyn. I mean, not your reputation. I mean, the reputation of Brooklyn precedes you. Then, you know what I mean? That was the difference. And that's in any borough you go to. So, listen, you gonna say I'm biased because I'm from Brooklyn. I like to say it how it really was, though. You know what I mean? But if you from where you from, you're gonna feel how you feel. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta respect that. You know what I mean? But what I said about each borough and each dude and how they and what they was known for is the facts. That don't change. You know what I mean? But you could feel your spot was the best, or how it. But really and truly, Brooklyn had everything. Everything. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, man.